line, you can't fold and you can't bend. Y'all be playing it safe and I be going for the win. Remember back when they was doubting on the kid. Now they tuned in cause my game too legit.
There's a lot of you don't know about the fantasy headliners. Nation. Headliner Nation. Fantasy headliners for the nation. I'm a headliner. I'm a headliner.
Yo. Analytics off the chain. All the channels not the same. Jake and Kyle, you know the name. Headliner Nation, we running the game. Y'all stuck on third down. Your content's plain Jane. Headliners on top now. We gonna move and change. Podcast off the rip. Draft guide, so legit. Fantasy world, our game tight. You know we about that chub life. Stuck in a rut and you need some motivation. Head to the channel for this Headliner Nation.
I'm a headliner.
Yeah, what's up, everybody? Woo, woo. Football's back. Football is back. We've been watching football all weekend. We've had preseason games. We've had an opportunity to see some rookies for the first time. We've seen DJ Moore and his new quarterback, Justin Fields together. It's been a good start to the season, I think. It's been a good start. Hopefully everyone's enjoying what's going on. We got Xavier out there. We got Star-Lord, the boys. What up, Gerald, Samuel, Supreme, Peyton, Briz, Dino, Bradley, Old Man Driz, Joey, Jalen Green is the truth. Trey. What's going on, Memphis? What's up, everybody? What up, John, Bradley, TJ? Julio! It's that time of the year, folks. Exactly, Walter John. Exactly. It is that time of the year. Man, I don't know about all of you, but I am ready for the season to be here. For a couple different reasons. Number one, why wouldn't I be excited for the season to be here, right? It's football. Let's go, baby. That's what we love. Number two, I feel like I'm running out of content. I do feel like, and y'all can let me know in the chat if you agree with me, if you don't agree with me. I feel like our off-season content this year is the best that it's ever been. I felt like Jake and I went wild this year with off-season content. We had some really, really good videos this year. Taylor did an amazing job editing. So like the look and the feel of the videos have been different as well. I feel like it's helped maybe keep you all engaged a little bit longer. Just kind of the way we've cut it up and some of the things like that. I just felt like the off-season content, but I'm running out of like stuff to talk about because it's like, I feel like I'm just talking about things again that I've already talked about. One thing I am going to do this week, TJ's banned in the chat. One thing I am going to do this week is a video called like My Guys. And essentially what I'm going to do is I'm going to just kind of recap. These are the players that I'm most invested in this season. And instead of kind of going back through all the content, I'm actually going to link the videos in that video for those of you to go back and watch maybe some things that you've missed, because we've put out some fantastic videos this season, but we've also noticed that people came back to football this year a lot later than years past. Like normally we really see our views go crazy at the beginning of July. It wasn't that way this year. It really wasn't until kind of the end of July that we saw views picking up. And it's not just us. We've noticed it for all YouTube channels. And we're not 100% sure like why people have been waiting so long to come back. The one thing that I said might be it is that people are a little bit more invested in baseball this year than they have been in years past. Because like viewership is way up, attendance is way up. I think there just might be people who watch baseball in the summer that just have not turned their focus to football because they haven't really tired of baseball this summer the way they have in years past. So I think that might be one reason. I don't know what the other reasons are, to be honest with you. It's crazy. So yeah, that's one of those things that I plan on doing, is kind of going back through and saying, hey, these are my guys. These are who I'm invested in. If you want to know why, below is the links to those videos. So then if you've missed those videos, you can click on them and you can find them. Blurry? Not really, because we use numbers from the year before to break down players. So you have to keep in mind, I don't know if you're new here or not. People in the comment section, let me know if you agree with me. One thing I feel like we do really here that other channels don't do nearly as well is using statistical evidence to break down information. We don't just sit here and tell you this is our gut feeling. This is what we think. We use statistical evidence to say, man, this is what happened last year or in years past. This is what would need to happen for that to be true again this season. Zachary, yeah, that could be it. Just kind of snuck up. I feel like the summer went super quick this year. Moa, only the real ones always here. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I'm just drinking my protein drink. Don't mind me. So yeah, it's been a different off season. I think it's been a good off season, but I'm ready for the season to be here. I'm ready for the season to be here. We've got football today. Who plays at 1 o'clock? Kansas City. Is it like Kansas City and New Orleans? Your sister might have the same container. I stole this from my daughter. Saints. All right, I nailed it. Kansas City and the Saints. I got it, baby. Let's go. For those of you that are members, my plan is to have at least 2 film breakdown sessions for you this week. At least 2 film breakdown sessions for you. Briz with the $1.99 donation. Do another Binky video or late round sleepers. Dr. Ethan Turner has a sleeper video coming out this afternoon. We're on you, Briz. As far as a Binky video goes, I'm going to message Jake. Let me know in the comments, is there a video that you either have seen from us in the past that we haven't done yet, or a different type of video that you would like us to do before the season gets started? Buy, sell ADP. We've done a lot of ADP stuff. Last week, even with some of our rankings videos, we kind of chatted about it. Is keeping Mahomes in the third and drafting Kelsey in the first a bad idea? Because it's kind of giving me a 3/4 Chubb. 8-person Superflex. Yeah, I would keep Mahomes in the third for sure. Milk Truck, I just can't. I can't get on board with a lot of rookie tight ends this year. How am I feeling about the Bears this season? I think their offense is going to be better than what people anticipate. I think their defense is going to let them down. I know that they made some changes on defense. I don't think it is enough, though. The underdog fantasy leagues this season, we've been posting them. We've been posting underdog drafts consistently all season. I know Jake posts a ton of them. Players you can stash. So maybe some guys that... I'll think of that. I'll think about it. I'll think about that one and see kind of how we can do it. Patterson is RB1? No. Don't pay attention to depth charts. Any depth chart that comes out right now, do not pay attention to it. It's ridiculous. We've done some of the ultimate lineups in the past. I have been working on the perfect draft for the draft guide. The ADPs just seemed really off. And again, we think that's because people just came back to football very late this season. So we've been kind of waiting for that to even out a little bit. Pick 3.5 PPR. Eckler, Hill, or Chase? Wait, so Noah, you say pick 3, but then you list 3 guys. So can you only pick 1? If I had to pick 1, it's Chase. Brandon, becoming a member for the 18th month. Appreciate you, Brandon. Love these streams. Got the 1.01 and $100 Dynasty startup. Is Jefferson still the pick? Or does Bijan move up there because it's Dynasty? Probably just overthinking it. If it's Dynasty and it's the 1.01, I still go Justin Jefferson. You're going to want to hold wide receivers a little bit more closely than running backs in a Dynasty league. A preseason reaction video. We can figure out something about that. James, how about a video on players who are most likely to perform at a higher level the last quarter of the season? So in our draft guide, there's a section for like the fantasy playoffs and stuff like that. We kind of leave that in there. The one thing we don't want to do is use content that's already in the draft guide. That's one thing that we don't want to do. That's why you haven't seen like a particular bust video for me. Like in years past, I would do a video with specific bust players. I haven't really done that because of the ones that are in the draft guide, and I don't want to reuse them. But as far as that, we've got that in the draft guide, and I think that is a video that typically we try to do like maybe like a quarter or halfway through the season when things kind of develop in terms of what do we have from actual opponents and stuff like that. Julio, what are the codes for the Underdog Fantasy League? We just post links all the time. Like, keep an eye on the community tab. Keep an eye on any live streams that we do. You are Julio. You're a member here, so make sure you link your YouTube account to Discord so you can get in Discord. We post them in Discord. So we post them all over the place. Mason becoming a member for the 27th month. Absolutely insane, Mason. Appreciate your support. Who should I keep in a standard league? Amari for a 3rd, Fields for a 4th, or A.J. Dillon for an 8th? Already keeping Barkley and Diggs. Part of me, I'm not going to do Amari in the 3rd. Part of me leans, because A.J. Dillon, while in the 8th, might be a better value. I want to take the better overall player here. I'm going to keep Justin Fields in the 4th. Especially with it being standard. Hey, Kyle, when is the perfect draft coming out? Oh, Devin, I just mentioned it a minute ago, so I'm not sure if maybe you missed it. I've been working on it this week, and my hope is that it will be out this week. I was waiting for the ADP to kind of balance itself out because there were some really weird things we saw with the ADP. And I kind of already mentioned it at the start of the show. It seems like a lot of people have waited to come back this season a little bit later in the summer than what we're used to. And I didn't want to put out that section knowing that it just didn't look right. So we've kind of been waiting, but I am working on it. My hope is you'll see it this week. Theron, I am drafting. Oh, first off, Theron, appreciate your very first super chat for $5. Thanks for the support. I am drafting in 30 minutes. I have the number 1 pick, 16-team league. Should I take Jefferson or CMC? With it being a 16-team league, it does kind of lead me to say that I would maybe like CMC a little bit more. Devin, you're fine. No worries. No need to apologize. So here's my thing, Theron. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. My bad. So here's the thing. It's a 16-team league, and you're drafting number 1. If you think that you're going to get decent running backs when they come back to you, definitely go with Justin Jefferson. If you think your league is going to draft running back heavy, then I think you're going to have to go with CMC. Because in a 16-team league, when it comes back to you, you might be in a really tough position running back-wise. But if you think you can get guys like Travis Etienne, Ramondre Stevenson, Aaron Jones, Kenneth Walker, those guys at the 2-3 turn, then absolutely go Justin Jefferson. Would you drop Kareem Hunt for either Vince Vaughn or Roschon Johnson? Vince Vaughn or Deuce Vaughn? Vince Vaughn, I don't know if he has any new movies coming out. And if you play in a movie fantasy league, I don't know what you get points for. Comedies, horror, rom-com, I'm not exactly sure. So Vince Vaughn, I'd probably be out on. Deuce Vaughn, he looked good yesterday. That could be interesting. I'm sorry, I had to be sarcastic there. I mean, would I drop him? I kind of would rather wait. If I had to pick either Roschon Johnson or Vince Vaughn, or Deuce Vaughn, I would probably go Deuce Vaughn right now. Also, if you watched that Bears game yesterday, who here, raise your hand if you have the draft guide. Raise your hand if you have the draft guide. Or do a fire emoji or something like that. All right, so we got a lot of people with the draft guide. Love it. Quick question. For those of you that have the draft guide, there is a certain running back sleeper in there. I'm not going to say any names because I don't want to give it away. There's a certain running back sleeper in there that had a huge touchdown yesterday that I've really been pushing on people this offseason. Does anyone know who I'm talking about? Don't put the name in the chat. Just let me know if you know who I'm talking about. Just let me know if you know who I'm talking about. Why would you want to get rid of JJ? JJ who? Justin Jefferson? Y'all know who I'm talking about. Travista, you want me to pick up your bill? Completely depends on where you're eating. At the 2.01, would you take Saquon Barkley or Ramondre Stevenson? If you're looking for upside, it is still Stevenson for me. If you're looking for upside, it's still Stevenson for me. If you're risk adverse and you don't want to risk it, you could end up going with Saquon Barkley. If it's me, I'm going with Ramondre. I'm going with my boy. Tater, I can't give away the name here because he's in the draft guide. That's not fair to the people that bought the draft guide if I just give all that information away for free. I can't do that. Olave in the 10th or Stevenson in the 6th. Yikes. Olave is a great deal in the 10th. I'd probably still keep Stevenson, though. Bijan or Kelsey in a full PPR? Listen, I am the I mean I am the tight end I'm the tight end whisperer for a reason, right? So I feel a little bit more confident in my ability to find tight ends. So me personally, I don't draft Travis Kelsey in the first round. I understand if you want to. I don't because I like finding tight ends later on. So I would go Bijan. Might as well give out the DRBR formula. No. No. That's locked away in a vault. I can't give that. I can't give the DRBR formula to you guys. Someone would be listening and someone would try to steal it, okay? Listen, I would say I would be willing to bet. First off, we have over 300 people in here and only 61 likes right now. I need y'all to tap the like button for me really quick, okay? Okay? In a standard league, I would be okay going Bijan over Eckler in a standard league at 3 overall. I would be okay with that. I would be willing to put my money on it that the DRBR is one of the most accurate indicators of breakouts in the fantasy industry, because I have used it several times to predict breakouts for Ramondre Stevenson last year. I used it to predict the bounce back season for Josh Jacobs. I used it to predict the breakout for Tony Pollard last year. I used it to predict Austin Eckler's breakout. I used it to predict Aaron Jones's breakout. And I could keep going back and I could find more for you if you all wanted. DRBR stands for the dynamic running back rating. Dude, Darius Geis, if that dude didn't get himself in trouble, he could have been a really good running back. Then the Krabby Patty formula, that's potentially correct. Tony Pollard being ranked 12th, I don't know if I want to do him in the 12th or at the 12th. Keeper League video towards the end of the year. That's possible. We did try to do a little bit more Dynasty content this year. I'd have to go back. What year would have I... Because I can go back and look at the old draft guides, and I can tell you exactly what I wrote about Darius Geis. Give me a second. I'll go check it out real quick. Thromboy becoming a member for the 6-month standard scoring 2 keepers, pick 10 and going for the 3-peat. Ow! AJ Brown in the 3rd. Yeah, we're keeping AJ Brown in the 3rd round. That's not even a question mark. Moore in the 4th, Kupp in the 5th, Waddle in the 8th. Also waiting on news for JT, which would be my 1st round pick. We're not keeping JT in the 1st round. Even if the news is good, we're not going to keep JT in the 1st round. You have too many good options here. I'm keeping AJ Brown in the 3rd and Cooper Kupp in the 5th. 100%. What up, Nate? Is there a way to make a keeper video? The problem with making keeper videos is keepers are so different, and at this point of the season, there's so many people looking for redraft information. We typically keep the keeper and the dynasty content in the off season. It's just nobody watches keeper or dynasty content right now. And really, we have to try and maximize views. So if there's specialty videos like that we don't think will get a ton of views, I try to do like a members only video for it. Gabriel becoming a member for the 4th month. Jay Fields, give me Kittle in the 5th over Muth in the 7th. Gabriel, 12-team full PPR, keep 1. CMC in the 1st, Kelsey in the 1st, Watson off waivers, James Cook off waivers, White off waivers, Pacheco off waivers, Godwin in the 7th. I'm going to have the 8th pick in the draft. I'm going to keep Kelsey. I'm going to keep Kenneth Walker in the 6th over Amari Cooper in the 4th. Let me go back in the draft guide here real quick. Ah, my login is gone. Hold on, I have all the DRBR information saved on my computer. But I wouldn't have the write-up saved anymore. I might. Here, let me... DRBR... Dynamic running back rating. 2019 team DRBR is the longest write-up I have. So this, in 2019, I wrote Adrian Peterson had some duds last season, but he was a lot better than he was given credit for. Volume was great, allowing him to finish his RB 18.5 PPR leagues and finish 8th in the league with 1,042 rushing yards. Peterson still looked like his old self at times in 2018, posting above-average scores and tackles avoided per attempt and yards after contact. Now he will have Darius Geis back and competing for touches, but I wouldn't bank on this backfield. Peterson will likely handle a majority of the carries while Geis works his way back from an ACL tear last season, and Chris Thompson will continue to work in passing situations. If you want to select one running back in 2019, it's Peterson, who could post weekly RB3 numbers if he excels in his dynamic scores again. So I didn't put anything good about Darius Geis in 2019. 2020 is different. Let's see what I wrote about Darius Geis in 2020. It's pretty simple and very, okay, hold on a second. Let me go back here real quick. It's pretty simple and very complicated, all rolled into one backfield. Darius Geis is the most talented running back in Washington. The DRBR proves it. Geis' scores in yards after contact, tackles avoided per attempt, and receiving yards after the catch are well above league average. And if he had a full healthy season, he could put together huge numbers. Where things get complicated, though, are the amount of backs on the roster. Adrian Peterson is still good at his age, but he doesn't move the same way he used to. They spent a pick on Antonio Gibson and have announced they will designate him as a running back. Plus, you can't forget about former top prospect Bryce Love, and they signed Peyton Barber this offseason. Someone in the running back room is going to get cut before week 1, so the amount of backs they will have will be substantially less. Honestly, I would be fine with Geis not getting a ton of touches in the preseason. Let's keep him healthy so we can see a healthy season from him. If it happens, though, he's going to be an RB2 in 2021 draft, so keep an eye on it. So even at that point, I don't think I predicted a huge season there from Darius Geis. I mean, I wrote that if he's healthy, things could potentially be big for him. And if you look at the scores for him, he scored 100 in yak. He scored 85 in tackles avoided per attempt, and he scored 89 in receiving yards after the catch. But I also was very cautious of the fact that that room was very complicated to try and figure out. So I don't think I oversold you on anything there. What up, STG212? Becoming a member of Holden Chubb. Welcome in to the exclusive Headliner Nation. Appreciate you. Thanks so much for joining up today. So yeah, I mean, I just read that straight from the draft guide. So I don't, yeah. Should I join the Stormcloaks or the Imperials in Skyrim? I don't know anything about Skyrim, but I feel like Stormcloaks seems like a super badass name. I'd go that route. Buck, you're here. Trevista. No worries. Hey, that's why I keep receipts, baby. That's why I keep receipts, just in case. You never know, man. Donnie Bravo, AJ Brown, CD, Amon-Ra, or Garrett Wilson in the second round. My rankings right now would have AJ Brown, CD, Amon-Ra, and Garrett Wilson in that order. Ben Desmond becoming a member for the 11th month. Smash the like button, community. Love it. Kyle, at the 9th position, should I take Bijan if he falls to me? 12-team half-point PPR. At number 9 overall? Absolutely, I'm fine with it there. Is Bijan at the number 2 pick overall? He is, but I'm not taking him. You're welcome, Donnie. Tank Dell, Marvin Mims, or Jonathan Mingo. If you want upside, it's Tank Dell. I'm still not jumping on the Tank Dell in season, having a huge year, but we'll see. We'll see. It's possible, but out of those guys, if you want upside, he probably has the best shot at upside. Thromboy. Gifting a membership to the Fantasy Headliners community today. Thronboy, I appreciate you for that donation to the community. That goes out to Highwayman75. Highwayman, make sure you say thank you for that gift and membership. Barry, you're new here. How's everybody doing? Barry, you're new. Welcome into the stream. Thanks for being here. Glad you've decided to spend some of your Sunday with us. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and stick around. Check out our videos. Scary Terry and Moore looking like more of a high upside wide receiver too. I mean, I've kind of basically had him in that wide receiver 2 area all offseason anyway. So yeah, absolutely. Ty Chandler did look good. He is going to be a part of that video breakdown that I try to get done for you this week. We're definitely going to look at Anthony Richardson again. Faux show. Faux show. Because a lot of good came out of that yesterday. Terry or DJ Moore? I'd probably still go with DJ Moore. I think he's higher in my rankings. Am I buying the recent Kenneth Gainwell hype? Not really. No. Because it's still going to take an injury for him to really kind of get what we would need. When I seen you had Richardson in the red, I almost... In the red for what? The rankings video? I mean, he is risky. I can love Richardson, which I do. And if you all have been around since January, I've been talking about this guy since January. I can love him and still understand the fact there is going to be risks with him. Anthony Richardson's interception was a beautiful pass. It was 100% on Isaiah McKenzie. He ran the wrong route. I'm out on the Calvin Ridley hype. There is room for Calvin Ridley and Christian Kirk. Nate Richardson is your RB2 in best ball. Absolutely. Great choice there. There is room for both of those guys. There is room for both of those guys. You have to remember they're two different players, though. So if you're drafting Calvin Ridley, you're drafting a guy that is probably going to be similar to what we've seen from Tyler Lockett in years past, which end of the season numbers is great, right? That's fine. There's going to be some weeks where maybe he just doesn't hit. He's going to be the deep threat in this offense, and he's going to operate more like that than he will be as like a solid week-to-week fantasy contributor like Christian Kirk will. Now, Christian Kirk was also one of my must-have wide receivers this offseason, so tells you what I think there. Penny or Swift, who gets the love? If Penny's healthy, it's Penny. I'll stand by that. But how long is Penny healthy for? 1 week? 6 weeks? Does he miraculously make it an entire season? A.J. Brown, Lamb, and Diggs, I believe, is my current order of those players. Aaron Jones or Mark Andrews as a keeper in a 12-man league. I probably go with Aaron Jones. Do I believe in the friendship strategy like Kirk and Ridley? What is the friendship strategy? I've never heard of that. What is that? Scott. Hey, Scott. I have one of the Chicago running backs in the draft guide, and I talk some pretty sweet nectar about him. I really don't know what I just said there. I talk some pretty sweet nectar about him. I think we have a new saying, ladies and gentlemen. That's some sweet nectar. Cody Peterson with a $9.99 donation. Appreciate you. Drafted early due to schedule. Quarterbacks went for stupid prices. Quarterback Geno, running back Pollard and Sanders, Chase Adams, flex Jahmyr Gibbs, sub Ridley Madison, Michael Thomas, Khalil Herbert, Murray. Thoughts? Oh, man. I think you have, Cody, honestly, I think you have a team that is middle of the pack. I look at that team and I say they're going to have some good weeks. They might not have great weeks, but they might have enough good weeks to not lose more than they win and finish middle of the road. That's a playoff team for me, probably more along the lines of a bottom seed, though, and then really hoping someone hits to try and make a move in the playoffs. But you're probably going to have add some more upside players in the season via trade or something to try and make a run at an actual championship. Walker in the 13th. Yeah, Walker in the 13th is a great value. Saquon 3rd overall. Yeah, I wouldn't do it. When you draft 2 players of the same position on the same team, and that's called the friendship strategy. Who coined that? Listen, we've talked about drafting running backs from the same backfield for years. I have never heard anybody call it the friendship strategy. Bijan or Kelsey at the 7th pick? Wait, Donnie, didn't I answer that for you already? Didn't I say Bijan because I trust myself to find tight ends later in drafts, so I will typically take the running back first? Cody Peterson, appreciate the analysis. Cody, appreciate the $5 dono. Thank you very much. They made up friendship strategy on the spot. You're good, Donnie. Yeah, I mean, the friendship strategy, that's funny. I've never heard anybody say that before, so I'm wanting to know if you coined it. Like, did you come up with that, or did you hear that from somewhere else? DJ is about to go crazy. I mean, I don't know if I'm not going to jump to saying he's going to go crazy. I still think he's going to have a good season, though. Mason, you got to drive your daughter to a B-Day party. Have a good one. Enjoy it. Bijan 1.1 in a 14-team PPR. Nope, still not for me. Travista. F is for friends who do stuff together. Skeptic, you know. You know, Skeptic. I'm always finding those tight ends. What up, James? Where would the tight ends rank among wide receivers? We just have a flex and no required tight end position. Nick, do you have the draft guide? Because our draft guide has Jake and I's full top 250. Really, the only tight end that I will mix in with wide receivers will be Travis Kelce. Outside of that, Mark Andrews, George Kittle, those guys, I'm looking at them as more along the lines of like wide receiver 3 type numbers, because I think there's wide receivers I would much rather have over them. Trade Pacheco for Sutton and Gainwell? No, I wouldn't. Gary. Oh, Gary, listen, don't talk smack to your fellow Headliner Nation, but that was kind of a funny response. That did make me laugh. Thoughts on Judy? I've got a write-up in the draft guide about Judy as well. The only thing I can tell you is I do like him. Darnell Washington will not take Freiermuth's job this year. Darnell Washington is going to be utilized as a blocker more times than not, and Freiermuth will be the receiving tight end. Do I expect more 12 personnel this year? Absolutely, with Pickens and Deontay Johnson on the outside, Washington and Freiermuth on the line, and then Darnell Washington being used as an extra blocker. Brian, I did a video where I took Travis Kelce in the first and Josh Allen in the second. It's called No. Why is no one doing this, or no one is doing this? It's a mock draft video. It's from a few weeks back. I would take a look at that if I were you, because I tried that strategy there. You can kind of see how my team came out. I will tell you, I don't love that strategy. The team I drafted came out pretty well, but it took several shots to make it look like that. STG 212, I just did a must-have video with Ramondre Stevenson last week, and I covered the concerns there. I'm not concerned with Ramondre Stevenson. Zeke, Cook, and Fournette. I wouldn't be surprised if we start the season and all of them are free agents still, to be honest with you. Mecole Hardman is the wide receiver too. I think it's possible. I think they're going to utilize him a lot like Kansas City tried to. Barry, thanks for joining me for your lunch. Mecole Hardman or Justin Ross, I would still probably say I will take the Mecole Hardman potential over Justin Ross right now. We probably won't be live too much longer. Kyle Lance Fitness Super Chat. Did I miss it? I did. My apologies. Thanks for reminding me. $2 donation from Kyle Lance. Appreciate you, man. Bijan or Tyreek at the 1.08 PPR. 3 wide receivers, 2 running backs, and 2 flex. I mean, I'm okay with going Bijan here. I'm okay with going Bijan here. If you want Tyreek, probably a little bit of a... This one's tough because if you want to be... I think they both have concerns and they both have high upside. If it's a 14, 16 team type league, I'll absolutely go Bijan first so I don't lose out on potential running backs. If it's a 12 team league, I'm okay with still going Tyreek there and then grabbing running back in the second and the third. Brandon. Love the look of the new room. Appreciate it. I think it looks... I had this done last year. Should look the same as last year. Victor Munoz. Becoming a new member of Holden Chubb. Victor, appreciate you joining up with the Headliner Nation community today. You got it. You got it, Kyle. Kyle, stick together. What do I think about the backup of Tony Pollard? I mean, Deuce Vaughn is definitely going to have an opportunity. I mean, he showed yesterday that he's got the skill set to do it. The Chiefs wide receiver that gets the most volume, if I had to put my money on it, it would be, well, outside of Travis Kelce, it would be either Sky Moore or Marquez Valdes-Scantling. Has it been a year since I became full-time? Almost, in October. My running back to lead the league in yards, Nick Chubb. Any running back breakouts like Stevenson this year? Yes, and I have them listed in the draft guide. That's where the DRBR comes in handy. I've got a couple of them. Handcuff, Deuce, and Pollard. Deuce. Deuce Vaughn, yeah. If you've got Tony Pollard, you could probably pick up Deuce Vaughn real late in your drafts right now. Where do I think Michael Pittman should go in drafts? What's his current ADP? Chris Curtis, appreciate you. Thank you so much. I got that song stuck in my head now. F is for friends who do things. Thoughts on people hating on James Cook? They can if they want to. Just did a video on him the other day. Absolutely love his potential. Sleepy Joe becoming a member for the 10th month. Hey, Kyle, thank you for being a vital part of my fantasy football life. If Lance balls out in all 3 games and Purdy does okay but struggles, who do you see them going with into the season? Honestly, at this point, I believe that Brock Purdy will be the starter going into the season no matter what. No matter what. And then if he struggles in season, then we see Trey Lance get his shot. Wait, where's Michael Pittman at? Metcalf, Cooper, Samuel, Allen, Judy, Watson, London, Williams, McLaurin, Moore, Hopkins, Kirk. Whoa, is Pittman dropped? Oh my God, Pittman has dropped all the way to wide receiver 36 with a 70th overall ADP. How do you snag a draft guide? In the description of this video. So if you go down below the video to the description, there is a link to our website and you can purchase it there. James, you got charged for a $5 super chat, but it never posted. Let me know what it is. Go ahead and tell me. As far as it not posting, that's a YouTube thing, unfortunately. We don't see stuff like that. But let me know what it is. I'll answer it for you. Hold on, James. I'll answer your question for you in a second because it's going to take me a minute. It's the most wonderful time of the year. Do 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 do. Oh, James, is that your question? My bad. Okay, so that is your question that you super chatted. My bad. Okay. So what's the argument against Bijan at 1.1 in a 14-team PPR league that always goes running back heavy, start 2 wide receivers, and if Algier did what he did, Bijan isn't better? No, Bijan is better, but Algier is still very good. And again, look at what he did last season. The issue with Bijan isn't the fact that we don't think he's going to get volume. It's the fact that we think Algier is also going to get a nice amount of volume. Because there is a potential that Algier could still see 150 carries this season. And I'm not just sold on the fact that Bijan is going to get 80-something targets. Now, if he gets 40 to 50, he could still finish as the RB1. Because a couple of years ago, when Jonathan Taylor finishes the RB1, he only saw like 40 or 50 targets. Because I even made the argument last year, everyone is all over Jonathan Taylor's nuts to be the 1.01, but he only had 40 to 50 targets. And your argument against not drafting a guy like Nick Chubb is higher is because, well, he only gets like 30 or 40 targets a year. So why are we drafting Jonathan Taylor #1 overall? So I tried to make that argument for people last season that thought process didn't make any sense. But we know it's possible to get 40 or 50 targets in a season and finish as the #1 overall running back. But that would mean that we're looking at over 1,500 rushing yards from Bijan, and we have to look at the potential of approaching 20-something touchdowns. So 16, 17, 18, something in there. Can he do that? Absolutely. But if Algier is also getting 150 touches on the ground, and you've got prime time weapons around him, like a Kyle Pitts, like a Drake London, and you've got a guy like Desmond Ridder, who we haven't really seen prove himself yet. To me, I understand why there's an argument for Bijan, but there's also a lot of what ifs that lead me to believe, you know what? I would rather take a guy like Nick Chubb, because I've seen him do it before, and he's in a situation that is just as good for his potential upside. That's why. It's not necessarily an argument against Bijan Robinson. It's an argument that I would rather have more proven weapons over him this year in redraft leagues. Now, if we're talking dynasty, then yeah, we'll talk dynasty and we'll say that the guy's the number 1 overall dynasty running back. That's fine. I get that. And yes, that makes sense to me. He's the youngest of the bunch, and we know he's going to play through 5 years on a rookie contract, and we're going to take those 5 years and try to sell at maybe 4 of them. But in redraft, if I miss out on Bijan this year, I don't really care. Because if he's the 1.01 overall, then we'll try and take him next year. You got it, James. Am I drafting Algier if I don't have Bijan? I definitely would look at Algier as being one of the top handcuffs in football this year, yes. I swear, anybody that says Taysom Hill's name, I'm banning you. I'm putting you in timeout. No, I'm kidding. No love for Taysom Hill. None whatsoever. If you're drafting Taysom Hill, you're doing it wrong, ladies and gentlemen. Troutman being brought in by Sean Payton. I mean, I'm not a huge Greg Dulcich believer. I don't mind him. I don't think he's a top 10 option. Anna's banned. STG 212 is banned. Archangel questioning whether or not I can time out Anna. Also banned. Could Brock Bowers be a starter in fantasy if he gets a good landing spot? 9 times out of 10, I'm going to tell you that I am not doing anything with rookie tight ends. I love Sam Laporta. I'm not drafting Sam Laporta in redraft leagues. It's not happening. Michael Mayer is a good overall tight end. I'm not drafting Michael Mayer in redraft leagues. Dalton Kincaid is the only one I'll take a look at. And it's because of the way he's being utilized. He is not going to be asked to play a traditional tight end role. He's going to be asked to just run routes out of the slot. Now, here's the difference between me saying, hey, Kyle Pitts, I'm worried about because they're not going to use him like a traditional tight end. And me saying, hey, Dalton Kincaid, I'm not worried about because they're not going to use him like a traditional tight end. Here's the reason why. Because Kyle Pitts was being asked to play on the outside as the wide receiver 1 after never playing that in his college career. Anna, for Zay J, can you post the directions on how to join Discord, please? Zay, you have to link your accounts. That's why there's not a link. You have to go in and connect your accounts. Dalton Kincaid's not being asked to play outside as the wide receiver 1. We see tight ends play in the slot all the time. And it's because they are a mismatch in the slot against a nickel corner or against a linebacker. On the outside, Steve, that's a great idea. On the outside, against the top cornerbacks in the league, guys who are more physical, guys who maneuver a lot better, they're not the mismatch. That's why you don't typically see tight ends go to the outside. Kyle Pitts and Dalton Kincaid are not the same scenario. Dalton Kincaid is going to play in the slot against nickel corners and linebackers, while the top cornerbacks on the team sit on the outside and match up with Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis. Stephon Diggs, one of the best route runners, best wide receivers in all of football. Gabe Davis, one of the best deep threats in all of football when he's healthy. And oh, by the way, I will also take Josh Allen over Matt Ryan because that's who Kyle Pitts' quarterback was his rookie season every single day of the week. The situations are completely different. And that's why Dalton Kincaid, I'm okay putting him as a potential top 12 tight end option because he's just going to run routes out of the slot. He's not going to be asked to block. He's not going to be asked to play on the line. Dawson Knox is still going to do that. Now, do I want Dalton Kincaid as my number one tight end? I would prefer not to. I'd rather have a couple of guys. And then if he goes off, awesome. If he doesn't, then just dump him at some point. Hopefully that makes sense to everybody. Hopefully that makes sense because I got some comments in my tight end video where people were like, well, you say that you're not putting Sam Laporta as a top 12 option or Michael Mayer or any other rookie tight end, Luke Musgrove, but you have Dalton Kincaid in there and he's a rookie. It's just different. It's just different. Sam Laporta is not going to play in the slot. That's Amon-Ra St. Brown's spot. Sam Laporta is going to play on the line. If he gets 50 targets this season, that's great. That's not a... If he gets 50 targets, though, unless he scores 8 touchdowns, he's not going to be a top 12 option at the tight end position. Could he be top 20? Yeah, he could, for sure. But not top 12. And let's be honest. Are we really looking to start tight ends that are top 20? Like, the tight end position is already bad enough as it is. Are you really looking to start a top 20 tight end every week, or would you rather risk it with somebody else that has true top 12 potential, right? People ask about Luke Musgrave. It's going to be the same thing. He's not going to play in the slot. That's Romeo Doubs. That's his spot. People ask about... Ricky, appreciate the $5 donation. People ask about Michael Mayer. He's not going to play in the slot. He's going to play on the line. Why? Because he is an exceptionally good blocking tight end. He's going to be asked to block. He's going to be asked. And that's what makes the transition to the NFL so tough for tight ends. Because if you come into the NFL as a lineman, you just got to learn blocking schemes. If you come into the NFL as a wide receiver, you just got to learn how to run routes. If you block, you just block on the outside. If you come into the NFL as a tight end, you not only have to learn the routes, but you have to learn the blocking scheme because you're an extension of the offensive line. It's a lot to pick up for players sometimes, especially considering the fact that a lot of tight ends don't normally do that in your traditional college offenses anymore. A lot of times in college, you only do one or the other. You don't do both. And that's what makes it so hard for tight ends coming into the NFL. And I feel like people just forget that. When it comes to fantasy, I don't think a lot of times people use like real life football to try and form an opinion on a player. And someone's like, well, I'm just going to go with Michael Mayer because he's going to get a ton of targets. Because there's nobody else there besides Devontae Adams. Well, that's not necessarily true because they have Jacoby Myers. And Jacoby Myers operates in the same space that Michael Mayer would. And I would take Jacoby Myers over Michael Mayer any day of the week right now. Sometimes I think people just kind of sit back and... At some points when it comes to fantasy football, it's KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. Sometimes we just don't need to overreact to things. Other times, you really need to take a second to think about, is this guy really going to be good? Like, is my reasoning for this guy being good, is it sound? You got to do that sometimes. Hopefully, y'all enjoyed that speech. Ricky with the $5 donation. Is Mark Andrews or TJ Hawkinson a must draft in the 4th round in a 12-man PPR? A must draft? Not a must draft. Not a must draft, no. Francis Guerrero, how do you feel about Christian Watson this year? I'm going to be asking our good friend Kirk Benkert. My chat is gone. My chat's complete. Am I still live? My chat's completely gone. I don't see a chat at all right now. I don't see a chat. I don't even know if I'm live. It says I'm live. Hold on. Let me bring up the stream on my phone. Yeah, it says I'm live. Okay, I can see the... Okay, so I can see you guys. I don't see the chat on my end. Okay, I see you all. I'm watching the stream on my phone because my chat disappeared. So I see a live chat from Ricky, or a super chat from Ricky, but I don't see any of the other ones. I think it was a question about Christian Watson. I'm going to ask Kurt Benkert about him this coming week. We're going to do a video together. And then I believe he's boom or bust. I believe he's going to have way more busts than booms, though. Ricky with a $5 donation. I see Chris Olave and Stevenson around the same ADP in the third. If you have a running back and wide receiver already, which one would you take? It would be Ramondre for me. I already refreshed. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, I've been doing this long enough. I know how to run my YouTube account. I don't know. It just like it froze and then it disappeared. It's showing. I can see it here, but I don't see it within my studio. So I don't know what's going on. But I'm going to have to get going soon anyway because I've been live for an hour and 4 minutes. And there is football on right now for all of you to watch. So I appreciate you all tuning in. But I'm going to have to get going here. Hopefully y'all enjoyed this. Hopefully y'all enjoyed hanging out today with me. TJ, all F4. TJ's banned. Anna, can we time out TJ? Can we do that? Can we just go ahead and time him out? And I just saw you message me. It froze on your end too. Okay. I don't know what happened with YouTube then. YouTube's going crazy today. But ladies and gentlemen, I am going to get out of here. I've got stuff I got to do today. It's Sunday. I'm going to go hang out with my kids. Football started for us last week. My son got bumped up to an older age group this season. Even though technically they can keep him down at a younger age group, they decided to move him up. They are moving him from cornerback to safety, and they are moving him from wide receiver to tight end because they like the way he blocks, and he's one of the taller kids on the team. So we have a lot to go over because they're positions he hasn't played before. So we've been watching film and talking and going out to the field and trying to practice a little bit. So he's gonna be doing a lot of stuff this year. He's excited. He's excited for it though, and so am I. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna get out of here. Got a lot of stuff to go do. Appreciate you all tuning in. Sorry, my chat disappeared on me, but I can see you guys saying goodbye on my phone. Appreciate everybody. Have a great week. You're gonna catch lots of videos this week. I love you all. Peace out. Stay safe. Stay healthy, and I'll see you all in the next video. Later, guys.
When the game on the line, you can't fold and you can't bend. Y'all playing it safe and I be going for the win. Remember back